are making, Mr. Speaker, that suppose a member of this House is contributing or is in this House and of course gets a notification that the baby is crying and wants to be breastfed, Mr. Speaker, the prerogative of the Speaker would be to allow that member to rush to a nearby room. And of course, we need to have at least a room. Among these offices we have here, Mr. Speaker, we have the office of the majority leader, the majority whip, and all. So we need to have also another room among those offices that will be especially left for the, even behind the speakers. So Speaker, we normally have some private rooms here. We can have one for our friends and colleagues in this House, Mr. Speaker, whenever they want to breastfeed, so that in case there is an emergency, a baby is crying outside there, they can easily maneuver their way there and come back and continue with the proceedings. Mr. Speaker, I duly support and I really respect the fact that we need, as I said, as Africans, sometimes we stick to so much traditions to the extent that we forget that things have changed. Mr. Speaker, respect to our kids, to our children is very paramount. The places sometimes we went to school outside these countries, Mr. Speaker, a child is given total maximum respect, so that a child of below 13 years, even if they enter a bus and you're seated, Mr. Speaker, to our kids, to our children is very paramount. The places sometimes we went to school outside these countries, Mr. Speaker, a child is given total maximum respect, so that a child of below 13 years, even if they enter a bus and you're seated, Mr. Speaker, however old you are, you must give way to the kid to sit. So I think those are traditions that we also need to adopt, because we need to give respect to our kids and of course, and give respect to our mothers and our colleagues. So, Mr. Speaker, I fully support. I want us to have in every opportunity, if it is hospitals, we need to have that particular special place. If it is place of work, we need to have that special place. If it is parliament, we need to have that special place. If it is anywhere, just like we are making every building, every place of work accessible by the people living with disabilities, we must also make it accessible to women or our mothers who are breastfeeding, to make it easier for them to access those particular. And remember, Mr. Speaker, if it is in your place of work, if it is in places of work, mothers who would want to be accompanied by their kids, I mean their babies, to those places of work, must have a place where even it will accommodate also those who are taking care of these kids. So it is not only just creating a space for breastfeeding. We must also have that space, have all the facilities to accommodate those mates who will be taking care of the kids while their mothers are in their place of work. Mr. Speaker, I support fully, and I will want to encourage Mheshimiwa Sabina Chege, to work on more bills that touches on mothers and children. Mr. Speaker, I support.
The Honorable Basil will make his contributions after the Honorable Agnes Pareyo from Narok North on account of gender considerations. But before that happens, allow me to welcome visiting institutions to the House of Parliament. Honorable members, we have in the public gallery students and teachers from Mutus Mixed Secondary School in Mbeere North in Embu County. We also have in the public gallery Gakanga School from Kieni constituency in the Great Nyeri County. And then we have pupils and students from Oloikum Nasera Primary, Yado West constituency, Kajiado County. The pupils, the students, and their teachers are welcome to the House of Parliament to observe the proceedings. Honorable Agnes Pareyo, you will welcome the students and proceed to make your contributions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to welcome all the students from other constituencies to this great house. And I want to urge them to watch the proceedings and look at what we are doing and learn from what we are doing here. And I also want to encourage them to go on with their studies and put more efforts, because they are going to be tomorrow's leaders, and they will also be here. And thank you for giving me that opportunity. And to the bill, Mr. Speaker, thank you also for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this breastfeeding bill by Honorable Sabina Chege. And I want to say that as breastfeeding is godly. It's so natural, and that is the only way a newly born child communicates with a mother. When you enter into a house where a mother is breastfeeding the child, you will think there is somebody else, because this mother is talking, and you'll start looking for who is this that she's talking to. She's talking to the baby, and the baby is carefully looking at the mother. So it's another way of communicating with this baby. And the mother's milk is nutritious, that it's complete food. It doesn't need anything else. You can breastfeed your child for 6 months, and the child will grow because it has all what it needs to be complete food. And this milk helps to develop a child's brain. And so it's important to make sure that breastfeeding has a place and has all the respect it deserves, so that this mother can breastfeed the child without fear or without thinking that where she is not right. So we need to create a space and also give them time, because a mother also thinks about the child, because there is that connection between the child and the mother. So the mother needs time. Though I'm hearing other new terminologies of expressing milk in my community, we don't know that, but I think soon we'll also learn to do that, because ours, we just think it is direct from the mother to the child. And so this mother needs time, because some women leave their jobs because she needs time with her child. And to give these mothers time, or to give them a priority to work, we need to create a conducive place for these mothers. It's just not only another place, it's a special place, because what they are doing is special, and the child has a right like any other person in this world. Once the child has come to this world, she has a right. The first right she has is for the mother to breastfeed that child. So for me, I support breastfeeding this bill, and to say that it is important, and we must all have in the markets, in the working places, everybody who is employing somebody who is breastfeeding must make sure that this woman has time to go and breastfeed that child. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, I support. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Pareyo, also for the good community service you are doing before and you continue to do around those other issues concerning the family. The Honorable Basil is now recognized to make his contributions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the chance to contribute. Allow me to appreciate Honorable Sabina Chege for this very important bill, Mr. Speaker. As a father of two, Mr. Speaker, and I know you're also a father, and my good friend Parashina is a father of three, we all know what mothers go through.
Honorable Basil, in our African culture, we never count our children.
No, you don't count, yes.
Also as men. I don't know whether the Akamba culture permits, but in the
Our
Luo
culture, it
culture,
does. So, as a father, I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, we know what our women go through when it comes to breastfeeding, Mr. Speaker. There's something called time poverty, whereby women actually try to balance between productive roles, community roles, and the reproductive roles, Mr. Speaker. And that's why this bill comes very timely to support flexible working hours for lactating mothers, Mr. Speaker. Some employers, Mr. Speaker, do not recognize the particular role women play when it comes to breastfeeding and the time challenge they have to be able to report to work, at the same time ensure exclusive 6 months breastfeeding, Mr. Speaker. And that's why I do support the bill, because it provides the legal framework to support lactating mothers and more so working mothers to be able to have time to provide breastfeeding or to breastfeed their child. At the same time, be able to report to work and contribute to the well-being of the economy, Mr. Speaker. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the first world, they have similar laws, Mr. Speaker. So having this bill passed through by this parliament will put Kenya at the same path, the same level with advanced economies, which recognize the contribution women make to the economy. At the same time, the role of women when it comes to reproductive activities within households, Mr. Speaker. If you look overall, by having this bill, Mr. Speaker, the immunity, the health care of infants will be promoted, Mr. Speaker, because breast milk provides essential antibodies as well as nutrients that are important to boost immunity of infants, Mr. Speaker. And as an output, when a child immunity is boosted, Mr. Speaker, you reduce the costs related to health treatment for infants. These will actually save money for many families, and that's why we recommend for exclusive 6 months breastfeeding, Mr. Speaker. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, the maternal health is enhanced by having such a bill. Remember, we have what we call postpartum depression that is associated with taking care of infants. And when we have such a bill, we promote health care of mothers. If Dr. Nikal was here, he would agree with me that breast milk or having room to support breastfeeding, it reduces risk of mothers getting cancer. We are talking of ovarian cancer as well as breast cancer, Mr. Speaker. And that's why this bill is so timely, Mr. Speaker. Additionally, the bill promotes family-friendly environments because lactating mothers will have a time to connect with their child, at the same time have time to support other well-being within a family. So this bill will promote family-friendly environment. And that's why I have all reasons to support the bill, Mr. Speaker. Additionally, the bill will align to the global best practices. And these I'm talking about Sustainable Development Goals number 3, which talks of good health and the well-being. So having this bill, we will be able to align ourselves with the requirements from a global stage and be able to get to the list of countries that promote well-being of infants, at the same time, well-being of mothers, Mr. Speaker. So in principle, the bill will also eliminate discrimination. We have seen mothers who are not even allowed to board public vehicles when they are lactating or when they are breastfeeding. Sometimes they are harassed in vehicles. So having this bill, we provide the legal framework to protect these mothers and to criminalize issues of discrimination when it comes to lactating mothers, Mr. Speaker. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, as the Vice Chair for member services and facilities, I'll actually champion for spaces where lactating mothers, including our staff, can be able to breastfeed their infants. So with those, I submit and I support the bill, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Basil, you know, there is an inquiry I keep making, which is not idle. You remember a similar suggestion was made by the Honorable Suleha in the previous parliament, and I know the mover of the bill I can still remember. And when we were chasing with a child from these chambers, a week later, in the United Kingdom Parliament at Westminster, a member was contributing with a child on her bosom. And by the way, when it could not continue, the Speaker of the House took the child and held the child. It is the flower of the future. And so is the case in the United States, so is the case in Scandinavian countries. Yes. Why does it, are you people suggesting, as honorable members, that we will allow lactating, mothers to breastfeed at places of work, but somewhere behind their actual place of work? This is very far. You go to somewhere, I don't know where it is now. Why can't we allow Honorable Sabina, if God were to use her to give another Kenyan child, to breastfeed as she contributes? Well, the best interest of the child. Go to Hungary. That is how they do it. Why are we shying? What is this tradition that makes you think in the context of breastfeeding that the breast is anything other than food for the child? The Honorable Dorothy Kiara, make your contributions.
Honorable Speaker, as I support this motion and make my contribution, I want to say we are lobbying for safe, secure breastfeeding stations. And in an open place, it's not one of them. Honorable Speaker, allow me to start by saying the journey and terrain of working women has not been easy. Honorable Speaker, I want to say this as I thank Madam Sabina Chege for coming up with this bill number 8 of 2024, because, Honorable Speaker, I have been here for a longer time in this world. Honorable Speaker, working women have had it all. There is a time that working women were not allowed. Once you are employed, you get expectant, you get pregnant, you lose your job. Honorable Speaker, from there, it has gone, it went further that women were allowed to give birth, but there was no maternity leave. What they used to do, like in the teaching profession where I have been all my life, they would get a monitor to replace them during that time when they want to stay home. And it was barely 1 month, because I don't know for how long you can stay without a salary. Honorable Speaker, we moved from there and we started robbing for maternity leave. And Honorable Speaker, I don't want to go into details to that. We secured maternity leave for our workers. And today, Honorable Speaker, I want to take exception in the teaching fraternity under the reign of Dr. Nancy Macharia, where the women teachers were able to garner 4 months maternity leave. That is 120 days. That is the long they stay with their babies at home. And on top of that, we too went ahead and lobbied for the men. If you give birth, a man can be able to get paternity leave for 2 weeks. Because, Honorable Speaker, the emotional attachment of a newborn baby to both the mother and the father is equally very critical. Honorable Speaker, today we are looking at a bill that we are all supporting. And I have gotten word that it is not the first time that this bill is coming before this House. And Honorable Speaker, today it is my prayer that we are not going to bring this bill and somewhere along the way, we just keep it in the shelves and it disappears in the periphery. I want to trust that today it will be the turning point that we will be able to actualize this bill once it becomes law. But before then, Honorable Speaker, a lot has been said by my previous speakers. We know the World Health Organization recommendation is that every newborn child must be breastfed for 6 months exclusively without a break and without taking any other food, because breast milk has been found to have all the nutrients that will support the physical, mental, emotional growth of a child. And it is normally said that those children who breastfeed exclusively very well, even they live long, even at old age. Even the old age diseases that come along, maybe bones and other issues, they arise because somewhere along the way, this child was not fed well exclusively for the 6 months. Honorable Speaker, we are saying this, and it's very unfortunate that some of the children don't make it because mothers, unfortunately, some find themselves not there to breastfeed the children. As we go giving birth, we lose mothers. It is not a secret. And we are not saying those children don't grow. They also grow. But we are now today insisting that those mothers who are able to see their children, let those children have an opportunity of being fed, breastfed for these 6 months. Honorable Speaker, I want to make a few proposals, Honorable Speaker, because this recommendation, this bill is recommending several things that must be done. And as we wait for it to be assented to law, there are several things that we can be making even at our level. What does it take to have a breastfeeding station, even, for example, in our schools, Honorable Speaker? We know the National Government Constituency Development Fund is doing a lot in our schools. You build classrooms, you are building laboratories, you are building administration blocks. Honorable Speaker, let us action, even before anything else, that when you are doing the administration block, just carve a small room so that you put it aside there and say, this is a breastfeeding station. Honorable Speaker, we are doing markets everywhere across the country. And I want to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, because for the first time, Honorable Speaker, our market women are going to live in dignity. Honorable Speaker, we are having markets being elected across the country. And Honorable Speaker, it is the high time that we obey the Ministry of Housing, so that as these markets are being constructed in their plan, they can put and shelve in every market a small area where we can call it a breastfeeding station. Honorable Speaker, so that by the time even this bill sees the light of the day, we shall be sure and certain that we are not going to start asking ourselves, where do we get these houses? If all the markets that are being done today, we carve out an area and call it a breastfeeding station, Honorable Speaker, the only thing that will be left is these other accessories that we are talking about, the table and a small table where a baby will stay and some benches where the girls who will be bringing these children will be staying as they wait for the mother to come and breastfeed the child. Honorable Speaker, it is equally important to note that, Honorable Speaker, most of these things that we tend to think they are very difficult to implement. It is us, the leaders, who sometimes fall short of following up on what we say. Honorable Speaker, like I remember very passionately, and I want to say this, Honorable Speaker, as much as it's not related to this bill. Honorable Speaker, some years back, there was a bill that was passed by an honorable member in this house, which we used to call the Musira Bill. The Musira Bill used to talk about pension and how pension should be paid to our workers who have left either the teaching service or any other service. And the Musira Bill was passed in this house. But Honorable Speaker, up to date, the Musira Bill died a slow death, and now we are talking about other ways of, Honorable Speaker, paying pensions. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to urge this house, as I support this bill, as I support Honorable Sabina Chege, I want to say, Honorable Speaker, it is the high time we as women of this country, we follow up all the issues that touch on women, and we are going to lobby you men so that this bill sees the light of the day. Honorable Speaker, I want to say it's a very, very progressive bill. It is a bill that we need to pass as early as today, Honorable Speaker, so that we give dignity to our lactating mothers. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Dorothy Kiera, nominated MP. Before further debate, let me welcome the following institutions visiting the National Assembly to observe proceedings to the House. We have in the public gallery students and teachers from the following institutions. One is Utithi Primary School in Kibwezi East constituency, Makueni County. Number two is Chepkolon Green Islands School from Ainamoi constituency in Kericho County. Number three is St. Vincent de Paul Boys from Kitutu Chache constituency in Kisii County. Number four is Heroes of the Nation School, Kitutu Chache constituency, Kisii County. Number five is St. Benedictine Cap Kimiluo School, Bomet East constituency, Bomet County. Number six is Mukungi Primary School from Kinangop constituency, Nyandarua County. And then we have Nyangwa Girls from Bere South constituency, the Great Embu County. All those students, pupils, and teachers are welcome to the National Assembly to observe the proceedings of the House. The Honorable Ibrahim Saneh is now recognized to make his contributions and give us the perspectives of the northeastern part of the country. There can be no point of order. The speaker has only recognized Honorable Saneh. Pardon? What is out of order, Honorable Borrero? There is very little we can do. That motion on the Borrero having not been moved at the beginning when the bill was proposed for debate. What I would urge members is to, reduce the time so that as many as of you can contribute to the bill. Honorable Sani, so you don't have to use the entire 10 minutes. If you can.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Contrary to the assertions of Honorable Dorothy Modoni, I was not breastfed myself. not because I did not have a mother or I lost my mother. Naturally, I refused to take breast milk. And so is my firstborn. He did not take breast milk, and we are doing well. She made an assertion that those who don't breastfeed may not live long. I want to live as long as 100 years. And in as much as I support this motion, I know breast milk is of great importance to both the child and the mother. It offers giving designated places to mothers who are working, gives them that flexibility and work arrangement that is friendly to them so that they can bond and feed their infants. It is important to both the mother and the child in terms of guaranteeing the health of their child, optimizing nutrition, and improving their greater health, Mr. Speaker. It reduces absenteeism at work. Most female workers will be available if such designated places are availed. It increases employee trust, loyalty, and productivity by female workers, Mr. Speaker, meaning there will be low staff turnover, especially for the female workers, Mr. Speaker. It reduces health costs if the converse would have happened, meaning if we wouldn't breastfeed our children, there would have been bigger costs in making sure that our children are healthier. There is also a positive public image on the part of bringing children and mothers closer at the workplace. It means we will be a nation that cares for its women and their children, Mr. Speaker. It will reduce stress. Mothers are assured that their youngsters are always close by, making sure that they work in a very less stressful environment, Mr. Speaker. There will be better work-life integration. When you will have home and work close by, it means there will be closer integration and job satisfaction shall be increased. However, I have a thinking that there is a paternity health within our law. I mean paternity leave that's allowed within the law, a 4-month paternity leave. Given the cost-benefit analysis, I hazard to recommend that can't we increase the paternity leave to 6 months, because the most crucial part of breastfeeding is 6 months, than trying to figure out bringing infrastructure, bringing in designated breastfeeding places all over the country. Imagine from the National Assembly to the assistant chief and the teacher in the rural villages in all of our locations and sub-locations. It is cumbersome, it's never cost effective, very expensive, and I believe it will be easier if we would have legislated otherwise, making sure that we increase the paternity leave to 6 months would have augured wealth for our economy and for purposes of convenience, Mr. Speaker. Malnutrition,
What it is?
malnutrition my fear, Mr. Speaker, my fear, in as much as I positively support this motion, Mr. Speaker, you may not be listening. Mr. Speaker, I wish to have your ear.
Consulting.
Yeah, thank
on
you.
what you mentioned. Did you say 6 months paternity, or you meant 6
Maternity,
months
maternity leave. Maternity leave.
or you meant both?
Not really, maternity.
Okay, maternity.
So that mothers can have at least the requisite 6 months exclusively to breastfeed their infants. Then proposing infrastructure, designated areas from Nairobi, from the National Assembly to the village. We have female working teachers, female chiefs. You can imagine the cost. If you can do a little bit of cost-benefit analysis, I propose that we increase the maternity leave so that we can reduce the cost. Our economy is not doing well. We may look a bit Western. We may be a bit impracticable insofar as the implementation of this motion is concerned. I further I further believe if this goes through, in as much as I support breastfeeding, Mr. Speaker, the next step will be bringing in nannies, nurses into the same designated places. So you can imagine, if we are to think forward progressively, we will ask for more, and we need them. And this brings the question, where is malnutrition pronounced in this country, Mr. Speaker? Is it in the National Assembly? Is it in Nairobi urban centers? Malnutrition is in the ASALs, where breastfeeding would have been crucial. We should think at least novel, so that whatever we legislate has some sense, some practicability, some touch, so that we don't just legislate in vanity, but legislate from a practical perspective. I support this motion. It is great. Its importance cannot be gainsaid. However, let us think twice. Must we just put everything on paper in the name of legislation? Can we just do it in a simpler way without much ado? I support, but with major variations. Thank you.
The Honorable Naisula Lesuda will have the mic before the Honorable Charles Ngosia because of the subject matter and on gender considerations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this very important consideration.
Honorable Naisula, I'm reminded to welcome a number of institutions visiting the House. Let me therefore interrupt your contributions a bit to welcome in the public and speakers gallery students from Kabiengek Secondary School in Konoin constituency, Bomet County, and students from St. Mary's Primary, Mogosho constituency, Baringo County. On my own behalf and on behalf of this House of Parliament, you are all welcomed to the House to observe the proceedings. The Honorable Naisula will now make her contributions. You may also have a sentence to welcome the visiting institutions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to welcome all the students who are at the public gallery. Welcome to the National Assembly. And I hope that you will take this opportunity to learn and also to be inspired and motivated to work hard, to excel in everything that you do. And just know that the only limitation to what you really want to achieve is yourself. And I wish you the very best. And as you travel back to your various counties, safe travel together with your teachers, and all the best. Now, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity, for giving me to contribute to this very important bill, the Breastfeeding Mothers Bill 2024 by Honorable Sabina Chege. And I must say, I even like the title of the bill, Breastfeeding Mothers. There's no trying to make it anything else. It is just breastfeeding mothers, Mr. Speaker. And so I want to congratulate her. And from the onset, I want to say that I have realized that most of us in Parliament, and even those, let's say, who are movie script writers and all that, it is through your experiences. If you're very passionate about something, it is most likely the experiences that you have gone through that shape the ideas or what you really want to move. And so that is why you see sometimes when someone has a bill or a motion, they are very, very passionate about it, especially if it is through experience. That is what has pushed you towards it. And so I know that Honorable Sabina Chege got one of her children in this parliament when she was a member in this parliament. And I'm sure that has influenced her thinking about not just herself, but other mothers, Mr. Speaker. Personally, my two children, Enzi and Zuri, I got them while in this parliament. And I must say that there are some things that have been made easier or have made it easier for me to come back to work. Actually, if you think, or someone just thinks I got the second one is just turning 2 this month, you might not think it is true. But it is because also in Parliament I have received the necessary support that I needed as a breastfeeding mother. Mr. Speaker, I know that as a parliament, we have come from far. And I'm just sharing these experiences so that even as we think about other areas, even as parliament, we have come from very, very far, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Sarah Korere also got a child in this parliament, and she used to sneak in. The baby used to be brought to parliament, Mr. Speaker, because we had nowhere for her to breastfeed her child. And so the baby used to be brought to parliament, and she used to go to the car park to breastfeed in the car. And you know, it's a whole army thing, you know, it's a whole business to breastfeed. It's not as easy as you just think, that is just give the baby the breast and that's it. It's a whole, you need to cover the baby, to do a lot of things. And so you can imagine in the car and how squeezed it is, and you have to chase the driver away and the bodyguard and park, I don't know, facing where, so that the tint is enough. I mean, it was really uncomfortable for her. I know of mothers in other institutions where they have to do it in the toilet, because that is the only place. I mean, where else in the office can you breastfeed? They go to the toilet or the kitchen. If there's a kitchenette in the workplace, they go and breastfeed there. And thank you for the look on your face. That is what is happening in the workplaces, Mr. Speaker, of our mothers who have children at work. And the other thing is that, so for many of us, after the 3rd month, we come back to work. And so what do? We have to pump breast milk and leave at home and put in a freezer. And actually, breast milk can stay in a freezer for over a year, and it's going to be okay. And so you're in the middle of breastfeeding and pumping and all that, Mr. Speaker. And so you can imagine a mother who has to pump the milk so that she goes with the milk back home, and she's pumping in a toilet or in a kitchenette at workplace, Mr. Speaker. So we're even risking the health of that child and also even of the mother, because their immunity is not yet fully in place, Mr. Speaker. And so this bill, I had Honorable from Mandera, not Mandera, but from Wajir, Sane, saying that this is going to be costly. There is nothing costly about dedicating one room in your workplace to be a place where mothers can breastfeed or comfortably pump milk. When you look at the cost net, finally, where you have a happy mother, she's happy at work, she will deliver more. If you look at the cost benefit, if the child maybe is brought to work and she can be able to breastfeed, we'll also have a healthy nation, because the child will be able to be breastfed and also ensure that the child is happy. And so I don't know why, when we think about social issues, we quickly think about the cost and the expenses, while not thinking the net benefit of it finally for those mothers and children, Mr. Speaker. So Parliament did a good thing. We now have a place where you can breastfeed your child. Also, in the new building, I think there's a creche. Initially, the men informally used to tell us, the women, please stop bringing a creche to Parliament, because our wives will be telling us to come with the children, as they also do other errands. And the men don't want to come with their children to Parliament. They want to be able to pass by somewhere else later and not have to drop the children at home. But having said that, the Parliamentary Service Commission ensured that now we have a creche. And I must say, I visited Safaricom creche. You know, where now you come, a creche is different from the breastfeeding room. I know why you're laughing. I don't know whether you are one of the men who did not want us to have a creche. And just so that if your wives are watching at home, we now have a creche. Your husbands can come with their children to Parliament. Yes, Speaker.
Your speaker is the greatest advocate for breastfeeding. In fact, if you remember the last parliament when Honorable Sulea was at the forefront in moving it, and remember that day she sneaked the house up to somewhere there, and the sergeants were chasing away with the child. It was your speaker who stood between the sergeants, the house rules, and her, to say that the child must breastfeed. So don't worry about the spouse of the speaker. The spouse of the speaker knows where the speaker stands.
So anyway, thank you, Speaker. And I must say, I was going to talk about it. Honorable Zuleha made a strong point. And I remember some people saying, this one is just struggling with postpartum, and that is why she's bringing her child and drama here. No, but she wanted to communicate to us, and not just to us as Parliament, but to the rest of the country. And I think she made her point, and we commend her for that, Mr. Speaker. And so Parliament now has a creche. There's also a good thing that Parliament has done, and it was introduced by Honorable Martha. Wangari also had a child, while in children, actually, she's had 2 children in Parliament. And so Honorable Martha pushed that for 1 year, as members of parliament, children while in parliament, they are allowed to travel locally when we have assignments with a nanny and one child, and the nanny and a child. The members continue with their work, but just because you have a child, because it's not a sickness, it's not an ailment, it's just natural. I mean, it's the most beautiful thing to bring a child to this world. And so parliament has done very well that they've supported us. I've not been able to miss a lot of my work, committee work. When we have to go out in the field, I have been able to work with my nanny and also the child. And also, it's just a beautiful experience that you work during the day. I can sneak in and go and be with the child and bond with the baby, Mr. Speaker. The only thing that we might want to implore the Parliamentary Service Commission is that let's not just make it the local work and local travels, but even when we have assignments sometimes out of the country, we can just consider it for a year, so that also the women, the mothers who are breastfeeding in Parliament, Mr. Speaker, do not miss on their assignments outside the country just for a year. And at any given time, Mr. Speaker, there can only be one lady or two who are expectant or who are breastfeeding in Parliament, Mr. Speaker. And so I wanted to commend Parliament, the Parliamentary Service Commission led by the Speaker, and also the clerk for facilitating and enabling the mothers in this house have these opportunities, but also to urge all other institutions from the top level, even if it's at the chief level, Mr. Speaker, that even a mother who has a complaint wants to go and see the chief. I don't have to leave my child at home. I can come with the baby as I'm on the queue waiting to see the chief, and I want to breastfeed. Let there be a small room where a mother can go in and breastfeed. And so I'm not just talking so that it's not a matter of the privileged. It's not supposed to be, in Parliament and all the top offices. It should be to the lowest office, Mr. Speaker, that we see it. I see some churches, they do very well. If you go to Nairobi, I think if you go to NPC and others, even in church, there is a place where it's soundproof. They allow the children, so that even as the children cry, you don't miss the service and you can breastfeed comfortably in that room. And so I think that is something that should happen across board and across all aspects and all areas. So thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I support and commend Honorable Sabina for this very important bill.
I know Honorable Charles Ngusia agrees the Speaker decided right to allow you to speak before him, because those experiences are deep. Before you give Honorable Charles Ngusia the mic, let me welcome a number of institutions in both the public gallery and the Speaker's gallery who are visiting the House to observe proceedings. What is happening in the mountain, the Honorable Kagombe? The mountain is very loud in Parliament today. What is happening? Yeah, so let me welcome students and pupils and their teachers from Gatue Primary School in Kirinyaga Central constituency, the great Kirinyaga County. And then students and pupils from Al-Huda Muslims Primary School, Kajiado Central constituency, Kajiado County. Both institutions are welcome to the National Assembly to observe proceedings. The Honorable Charles Ngusia will now speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Indeed, it's a good time to bring this motion, because I have observed this week is one of the busiest. Children are visiting from all over the country, and I would like to take this opportunity to welcome them to the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, it has been scientifically proven that breastfeeding actually is very important, because it strengthens the immune system of the baby, and also sometimes it improves the mood of the mother who is a lactating mother, Mr. Speaker. And this bill is actually seeking to provide the legal framework for the mothers who wish to breastfeed by giving them the rights actually to get lactation place in the institutions they are working in, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am speaking this because I was just imagining if I was a woman. I got 2 children when I joined Parliament, the first term and this term, Mr. Speaker. And I was just imagining if I was a woman lactated, it would be a very difficult circumstances for me, but I would like to salute women all over the world. Women, congratulations. We love you, we respect you, we adore you, and we cherish you forever because of what you do to our society. Mr. Speaker, this bill is actually describing some of the basic necessity or irreducible minimums of the lactation place. If you look at it, it specifies that lactation place should be shielded and free from intrusion from the colleagues or the co-workers. And this one will provide privacy to the person, to a mother who is lactating, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let us not just create a lactation place. It needs to be quiet. It needs to be calm. It needs to be clean and conducive to both mother and the child so that they can enjoy good time together, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, some of these descriptions already given here, they are very good, like having a lockable door, having a wash basin for safety and cleanliness, having a fridge so that when you express milk and you don't have time to go back, you can leave the baby and get that milk fed to the baby, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there are so many issues we can discuss, but because my colleagues want to talk about this bill, I will not repeat what our colleagues have said. So I would like to say this is a very good bill, Sabina Chege. Make sure it is fully implemented in our country. We can have lactation place even in aircrafts. When some of the mothers, actually they are traveling, they struggle a lot. When do you lactate in an aircraft when you are flying long distance, like to Sydney, Australia, Japan? Maybe we can extend it to the transport industry, and we will have lactating mothers enjoying their time with their baby. With those few remarks, I salute you for bringing this motion, and I fully support it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Peter Orero is now recognized to speak and put this also in the context of education.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think this is one of the bills that has made me really wait even when lunchtime is almost, because it is affecting all of us. When I look at you, Mr. Speaker, you look like somebody who was breastfed for 2 years. When I look at your chest, because we believe in our culture that a man who was breastfed well, you recognize him by the size of the chest and also the level of intelligence. Because lactation in our culture a long time, it acted also as a family planning. If you look at your family, you will realize that people were born after 2 years because our mothers used to breastfeed for at least 2 years. I would have wished that we put a rider on that bill, that we have compulsory lactation for mothers, not just for 6 months, but at least for 1 year, so that we have what is called early good mental development. And during lactation, if Dr. Nikal was here, I would tell you that it inhibits certain hormones which allows for pregnancies and controls estrogen and those kind of hormones. So we need to encourage lactation. Now, I want to bring my experience when I was a principal of school. And today I can confess that during my tenure, all the mothers who gave birth, they were expected to come back after 3 months, but I used to give them even after 1 year. And if they were in my department, I will redistribute their lessons and make sure that when the mothers come back to school, they are ready to teach and impart knowledge to our children. I am looking for a time when even the Teachers Service Commission will give teachers who are mothers in this country, not just 3 months. You can imagine if you have had a cesarean and you have given birth and you are wanted back to class within 3 months, even when you have not healed. And some of our people will even interdict our lady teachers because of not reporting, yet they know that they have small kids. We need as a country that we respect mothers because all of us are products of mothers. Now, this bill has come at the right time. Now, we have what is called daycare centers. I wish that the NGCDF allows the committees, the CDF committees, to be able to build daycare centers for the young girls who have given birth and they want to still go to colleges, and all the TVET centers to have daycare centers so that we encourage young mothers who can carry their children, live at daycare centers within the institution, go on with their education, and later on, if they so wish, to go and breastfeed. Now, this should also be a rider in this bill. I want to say that this bill should be supported by all of us, and not necessarily these centers to be brought next to the working places. I support that the mothers should be allowed to breastfeed even within the chambers, just like other countries allow, so that our mothers also who are legislators are respected and are allowed to do breastfeeding where they work. And because of time, I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to contribute to this very important motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
For the convenience of the House will now adjourn to go and prepare for the afternoon session. We are standing, honorable members. Honorable members, the time being 1:59 p.m., this House stands. Thank you. Honorable members, the time being 12:59 p.m., this House stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, the 30th day of July 2025 at 2:30 p.m.